Welcome back to another episode of the Revolutionary Girl Utena. So in the previous one, we got a hilarious Nanami episode. Well, it wasn't just Nanami, but basically what happened was they were cooking. By day, I mean Anshi and Utena were cooking at school in a cooking class and whatever, and they were making some curry. And then there was suddenly an explosion that made it so that they switched personalities. They switched bodies, Anshi and Utena, right? And Nanami thought it was her fault because she gave them like a really spicy 9 billion spicy curry mix or whatever, and Toga was like, yo, you know what, you can't go home until you find some like more of it so that they can replicate the entire cooking process and that they can switch back into their own bodies, right? So she went on to India on this huge expedition to find more of that same curry, and she found the last batch, and then when she got home, she dropped it on the floor. And then, towards the end of the episode, it was actually revealed that they never used that batch of curry in the beginning, and it was actually just Anshi's cooking that made them do that. So, I guess Anshi's cooking is not even terrible, but just experimental and like just insane enough for it to make an explosion that switches people's personalities. And at the very end of the episode, it was Sionji and Chuchu who ended up switching bodies, which is kind of funny. But are they just gonna fully discard the fact that Sionji and Chuchu are like in switch up bodies, or are they gonna actually keep that going forward in these episodes? Also, is this episode gonna keep up the trend of, you know, one comedic episode and one more serious episode? I guess we'll find out. So if you want to watch this, Uncut and Blurred as always on the Patreon down in the description, and let's go into the Revolutionary Girl Utena episode 9. Oh. Okay, Sanji is back in his body. I thought so. Love. Hmm. I like the shots of the swords there. That was really cool. Hmm. Prince. The castle set to hold eternity. Duel 9. Selfish. Yeah. Nice, tell him.
んたたちそんな昔からお知り合いなんだ。
やつには負けない。
Is this gonna be like a Silent G episode?
俺が必ず手に入れる。
あんた本当に姫宮のことが好きなのか？だったらなんで決闘なんかで手に入れようとするんだ。
決闘で勝ち取らねば奴に勝ったことにはならない。
やつってトーガのことか？あんたトーガと張り合ってるだけなのか？姫宮をその道具にしてるのか？
貴様に話してもわかるまい。俺はアンシーと一緒に永遠のものを手に入れる。そうだ。あの子も永遠が欲しいと言ったんだ。やっぱり降ってきたじゃないか。だから10回目の勝負でやめようって言ったのに。しょうがないだろう。お前くらいしか俺の練習相手になるやついないんだから。まあな。どうしたトーガ。お葬式だ。誰が死んだんだろう。君たち、この辺で君たちと同じくらいの女の子見なかったから。どうしたんですか？今日ご両親を事故で亡くした女の子がいてね、目を離した隙にいなくなっちゃったんだ。見ませんでしたけど。そうかい、ありがとう。まさか神隠しなんてことはないよな。何バカなこと言ってんだよ。もう少しこの辺りを探してみよう。今時神隠しだってさ。トーガ。
So that's why she would say she wishes for eternity, right? Because her parents got taken away from her.
勝手に入っていいのか？おい、待てよ。
Whoa! 3.
やっぱり棺が3つある。さっきドアの隙間から見えたんだ。何してんだお前。どうか。おい、やめろよ。やめるんだ。やめろ。やめろ
開けないで。お願い。開けないで。
Oh shit! Oh!
こんなところに隠れて。
Oh fuck! I completely
君のことを探してるよ。
assumed the wrong thing.
誰かに話す。
Of course.
いや、誰にも言わないよ。おい、俺はいつでも女の子の味方さ。フェミニストだからね。でもどうしてこんなところに隠れてるんだい？
ここが私の場所だから。
どういうこと？
隣に棺が並んでるでしょ。お父さんとお母さん、今日死んじゃったの。でね、棺が1個余ってたの。これってきっと私の分なの。生きてるのってなんか気持ち悪いよね。
そう。
気持ち悪いよ。どうせ死んじゃうのに、どうしてみんな生きてるんだろう。なんで今日までそのことに気づかなかったんだろう。永遠のものなんてあるわけないのにね。
永遠のもの。
だからもういいの。私はこの棺から出ないの。
でもそのうち誰かに見つかっちゃうよ。
そしたらまた別の棺に隠れるわ。誰にも会わないの。お日様の下には持ってないの。
待てよ。このままじゃあの子バカなことしちゃうんじゃないのか？だったらお前 前が永遠のものを見せてやれよ。次の日、彼女は棺から出ていた。何かを感じさせる目をして。お前、昨日あれからあの子に何かしたのか？いや、何も。だが俺は思った。奴は、きっと彼女に永遠のものを見せたに違いないと。桐生東が。奴はいつも俺より先に、俺の知らない世界に行く。
いつかあの空に浮かぶお城に行きたいの。あそこには永遠のものがあるの。
貴様もあの空に浮かぶ城を見たろう。あの城には永遠があるんだ。俺は彼女と一緒にそこへ行く。東海には負けない。
そういえば、天女ウテナは幼い頃に王子様に会ったと言っていたな。
王子様？
ああ。小さい頃に出会った王子様に会いたくて、この学園に来たと彼女は言っていたな。
ロマンチストだね、彼女は。王子様ね。なるほど。
Okay, wait. I'm trying to compute everything. So it feels like what's being insinuated here is that Toga was the one who gave her the ring, right? Who showed her something eternal by giving her the ring or whatever, right? I could be misreading it, but that's what it feels like. And obviously her remembering the prince differently would be just because she was so young that her memory got distorted and stuff like that. That all makes sense. But the thing that's bothering me the most here is why did that the power of Dios, we saw the power of Dios and stuff like that. Why did that look exactly like the prince that she's remembering, right? Maybe it's a power that was born out of her imagination as well. Maybe it took form of the prince that she's imagining, even though Toga was obviously looked completely different. Or it could be something else, right? It could be something else. I'm trying to not jump to conclusions too fast because I feel like I can jump to wrong conclusions too fast and that's gonna not be fun for anyone. So I'm trying to be careful with jumping to conclusions, but I feel like this is what's being kind of like insinuated here. If not, I'm sure they're gonna tell us as well. Really heavy. Oh.
その指輪が君を僕のところへ導くだろう。それはお姫様にとって紛れもない初恋でした。そして王子様のくれた指輪はやはりエンゲージリングだったのでしょうか。また会えるよね。
Something eternal.
冷たい。何をする。
君の後ろ姿があまりに寂しそうに見えたものでね。
大きなお世話だ。
こんなところで何をしてるのかな？
あんたは知ってるのか？あのお城のことを。
お城？
決闘広場から見える空に浮かんだあのお城って本当は一体何なんだろう。
あのお城は君と王子様がいつか出会う場所さ。
誰かに余計なことを聞いたな。
その王子様って俺みたいなやつじゃなかった。
やめろ。ふざけるのはよせ。冗談じゃない。
世界の果てからか。
Oh, he has that picture.
なんだ、流れ星じゃん。違うもん。UFO だもん。だってフラフラあっじゃない。ジグザグ飛んでたもん。じゃあ、ジグザグ飛ぶ流れ星ね。UFO なんかいるわけないよ。いやあれは
Interesting. Ah. Interesting.
夕食だよ。
Whoa, this episode is so cool.
チューチュー、お前のご主人様はまだ帰ってないの？珍しいな。姫宮かな？はいはい。はい、東館2階。
姫宮アンシーは今夜神隠しに会う。
何？
決闘広場に行ってみろ。
あんた誰だ？おい！やめてください、西園寺先輩。痛いです。もう帰らないとウテナ様が心配します。
何がウテナ様だ。お前との約束を守るのは俺だ。
約束？
そうだ。今夜こそ二人であの永遠があるという城に行け。
ダメです。エンゲージしていない者が決闘の約束もなしに私を決闘場に連れて行くことは許されません。
今夜城が降りてくると世界の果てが俺に言ってきたのだ。誰にも私はしない。お前と一緒に永遠を手に入れるのはこの俺だ。
This episode is completely different from all the other ones so far. It's going so hard.
もう、なんだよ。西園寺。
What the fuck is happening?
西園寺。
Made sure to pack it hard.
どういうつもりだ。僕と決闘して勝たなきゃ彼女は奪えないんじゃなかったのか。
貴様はなぜここに。
姫宮が神隠しに会うから来てみろと言われた。
神隠し。神隠し。神隠し。安心。安心は。
それはこっちが聞いてるんだ。
おい。貴様が開けたのか。
いや、僕じゃない。
まさか。
おい、待てよ。
We didn't even get the opening song to it, the theme song. Oh, the coffin.
開けないで。永遠なんてあるわけないのにね。姫宮。
Mm.
安心。何。
What the fuck?
姫宮。
店長。
どうなってんだこれ。とにかく姫宮を助けなきゃ。
城が降りてくる。俺はここだぞ。世界の果てよ。
What a switch up from the previous episode.
永遠を我が手に。
What?
ってるんだ。
That's my question.
一体何なんださっきのは。
姫宮姫宮姫宮おい、しっかりしろよ姫宮。
違う。彼女を棺から救い出すのは今度こそ俺なんだ。永遠があるという城も世界を革命する力も全て俺のものに。アンシーと二人であの城に行くのは俺だ。
姫宮姫宮姫宮歌野様、よかった。でも一体何があったんだ。それが私にも。歌野様。
Toga! Again, saving. Woo! I thought he would. Wait.
どうして。
君の王子様ってのは俺みたいなやつじゃなかったか。なんていつも貴様はフェミニストだからな。俺は。
I never before seen the word feminist being translated into gentleman.
今夜の西園寺宛ての手紙は俺が出したんです。そう、あなたの名前でね。いえ、傷は浅いです。ま、ちょっとした演出。
Yeah, he put out a play. Of course he did.
はい。西園寺は退学処分ってことで。まさか本当に友達がいると思ってるやつはバカですよ。
The same thing that the people said. The two girls said. What? You know, this episode was kind of insane. And I feel like that's an understatement. This was. Oh, wow. This was a wild episode. So. Wow. Okay, let's talk about it. So let's break it down. So first of all, it seems like it was Toga who was the prince of Utena, and Utena kind of ended up, you know, she was saved in a moment where she was extremely vulnerable by this person, and she was given something to hold on to, like a glimmer of hope in the ring, right? Which I think is all good and well. I feel conflicted about Toga actually, you know, Toga is fully trying to use that information, right? And he's trying to use that information to, I don't know, advance on Utena. That feels like it's obviously a good thing if he. I mean, we haven't explicitly been shown that it was Toga, but I feel like, yeah, everything being said here is implying that obviously Toga was the one who did it, right? But yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's okay if Utena would fall in love with someone because they saved her, and those feelings would be that strong. And also it would be okay for the other person to reciprocate those feelings, but it does feel weird with obviously him staging the entire hero, how he can be a hero and stuff like that. Kind of like having a bit of a, I don't even think it's a savior complex necessarily, because I don't think he's doing it because he wants to be viewed as a savior. I think it's just a ploy to make Utena fall for him or something. I'm not fully sure why exactly he's doing it, because I guess it is kind of to get Utena's I guess feelings swayed and stuff like that. But I didn't know that he likes her that much, that he would go to those lengths to actually get her to look at him, right? I didn't think he would like her that much, but I guess he probably does. Also, Sionji, man, he is a strange one. He's a very strange one because obviously he's being filled with a lot of jealousy, I guess, envy. That he wasn't the one who, you know, could have saved. Well, not that he wasn't the one who could have saved Utena, but maybe that he couldn't do the same thing for Anshi because it was Utena who did it, right? he's a very strange guy, but also, I don't know. I feel like this episode was so insanely. Obviously, it also talked about a bit more about how Utena was feeling and stuff like that, right? Because we only got to see glimpses of how, or we only got to see a bit of a fairy tale retelling of what happened in her past, because it was kind of like from her perspective. But yeah, here we got to see a bit more of a factual retelling of everything that happened and how Utena was feeling in that moment, how she wanted to die as well. She wanted to go with her parents and stuff like that, right? She felt like there was no meaning to living because everything is fleeting, nothing is eternal, right? And then she got shown something that could be eternal. And yeah, and obviously that being the ring and stuff like that, and her looking for the prince, and that prince is said to reside in the castle that has eternity in it. All of those really interesting things that I'm sure they're gonna elaborate more on them. So I don't wanna make like a bunch of theories here, because I feel like I don't have the information to do it. It feels very like everything that we're seeing feels very metaphorical in a way. The entire thing with the castle falling and stuff like that onto Saionji and stuff, like I was thinking, and I think this is me going a bit too far with the metaphors, I don't think it is that symbolic, but I was thinking about maybe it's somehow showing his dreams and his aspirations and just the thing that he wanted to achieve with this crumbling and crushing him. But I don't think so. I think that's a bit maybe a step too far, but it was just really interestingly done. And this was definitely the craziest episode so far. I did not even for a second expect something like this from the show, but it was a phenomenal episode. So I hope we get to see a bit more building onto this. I hope this kind of theme continues on, because I want to see where they take it, right? It's so interesting. It's so interesting. I feel like there are other things that I could comment on in this episode, but I'm not remembering them from the top of my head right now. But yeah, this was a fantastic episode. But for now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.